So, I don't know if you guys remember that last week I asked for homework, the fact family sheet with multiplying and dividing. If you guys have that, run and grab it and then we'll go over it.
I'm not sure if I still have it. Let me check.
If you don't, that's all right. Just make sure you have like pen and paper and then we'll be ready to go.
Houses.
Oh, it's raining pretty hard out, but I think it will stop by 5 p.m. Great job, Hadley. I love it. Wrote it down on paper, making lists.
Sorry, I can't find it.
No problem. You can just follow along with us, but you have pencil and paper for later?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. And Rosie's just grabbing hers. Before we start the homework review, though, we will look at a multiplication chart, a little warm-up game. So, oh, thank you, Rosie. Perfect. Can everyone see the multiplication chart?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Dash, you know your camera's off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can keep it off if you would like. So what I do is...
Oh, here we go.
Oh dear, there's my pencil. I gotta start the share one more time. Sorry about that, guys. All right, I'll share the screen. And what will happen is I'll use my spotlight and I'll set multiplication problems such as 6 times 7, and anybody can shout out the answer. So let's practice. 6 times 7?
35. 35. No, wait.
42.
40.
Oh.
42. Once I hear the right answer, I will call one of your names. So I could say Rosie, Hadley, or Dash. And whoever's name that I choose, you have to turn what we just did, 6 times 7 is 42, into a dividing problem. 42 divided by something is something. So Dash, if it was your turn and it was 6 times 7 is 42, how would you flip that into division?
42 divided by 6 is 7.
Perfect. So are we ready?
Yes.
All right, maybe I should make this a little bit more interesting and set a timer.
Stop.
Let's do just a 1-minute timer and see just how many multiplying and dividing problems we get through. So the example we just did counted as 1 problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could get at least 3. Ready?
Yeah.
Set. Go. Okay, 7 times 9.
63.
63.
Rosie.
63 divided by 7 equals 9.
Awesome. 11 times 4.
44.
4.
Hadley.
I don't know what's a good division problem.
So start with 44 using the numbers 11 and 4.
Divided by 11 is 4.
Perfect. 7 times 10.
70.
70.
Sorry.
Yay. Okay, 70 divided by 10 is 7.
6 times 5.
30.
Rosie.
30 divided by 6 equals 5.
Awesome. So we had 6 times 5, 7 times 10, 11 times 4.
I think we did like 5.
One more before that. So we either had 4 or 5. So high five, everybody. We beat what we thought we would get done. It's kind of weird giving a high five to the screen because your hand goes in the opposite direction.
You can't see mine. Oh, yes, you can. Yeah.
There you go. All right, so now to go over our homework. Let's see. Number 1, Hadley. What would we have for our 2 multiplying and our 2 dividing facts?
Which one? Number 1?
Uh-huh.
Okay. 10 times 2 is, or 5 times 2 is 10.
Keep going.
And 2 times 5 is 10. 5 or 10 divided by 2 equals 5. And then 10 divided by 5 equals 2.
Perfect. And my numbers are not that neat, but you did a great job, and those are all correct.
I can write the numbers for you.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, number 2, Rosie, give us the answers and Dash write what she says.
Okay.
All right. So 8 times 3 equals 24.
Oh.
Okay. 3 times 8 equals 24. 24 divided by 3 equals 8. And 24 divided by 8 equals 3.
Perfect.
Why am I at ovals?
Now, part of our homework was also for one of these fact families to write a multiplication word problem and to write a division word problem.
I did that.
Were you able to do that, Rosie and Hadley?
What was it? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
So to take one of the fact families and make a multiplication word problem and a division word problem.
I did not do that, but I can if you want me to.
We can even do it together. What about you, Hadley?
I did. Let me open up to my page.
All right, while you're opening up, Dasha, why don't you read what the problems that you had?
Okay, so let me see. All right, so Miss O'Malley had 24 oranges. She gave 8 oranges to each of her 3 students. How many oranges did each, she gave 8 oranges to each student. How many students were there?
Ah, I like it. How many students were there? Okay, so I should probably erase the fact family in yellow because then you kind of see the answer. But Hadley, if this was your problem, how would you solve?
Could you read that again? He kind of like blurred up.
Can you see
Okay.
on the screen where it says dash or no?
No.
Okay, let me get out of that so that you'll be able to see the screen. Oh dear. Sorry guys, doesn't usually do this for me. Do we see the fact families?
Yeah.
Okay. Gracious. Do you see the word problem now?
Nope.
So frustrating.
Maybe try like not share your screen and then come back to where you
There
want
we
it.
go. I will do that. Yeah, it just wasn't coming up for me. Okay, now we got it.
No? Oh, here we go.
Now we can see.
Coming.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So do you think, Hadley, this problem is multiplying where we want to know how many in all, or dividing where we already have the total and we're just sharing it?
This is dividing.
So how could we write the equation? Would it be 8 divided by something?
It would be 24 divided by 8.
Yes. So how many students, using the fact families from your homework, how many students are there?
24 divided by 24 divided by is 3 students.
And then you said you had a word problem that you wrote. Would you like to share it with us?
Would you like to here. Okay, so Sarah has 12 cookies that she is dividing to her 6 friends. How many cookies does each friend get?
Okay. Rosie, what would you say? Are we multiplying or dividing?
Dividing.
Yes. And how could we write the equation?
12 divided by 6 equals 2.
Yes. All right. And let's think about dividing. So if you have a piece of paper, I would like you guys to draw 12 little, I don't know, squares or circles. I'll share my screen so that you can see when I'm drawing. I'm just going to carefully draw 12. And I'll just do 2 rows of 6 because that's easy enough.
Okay.
And I'm ready to share. When we're dividing, the number that we start with is always the total, or how many in all. So I'll go ahead and write 12 and then one of the divided by symbols. So I'm ready to share.
Nice.
All right. When we're sharing, we could think of many different ways to share. We might have friends that we're sharing with. We might be putting things in piles. We might be putting things in cups, baskets. Any other ideas of what we would share with?
People.
So I'm going to go ahead and make some shares by creating groups. And you'll see there's a certain number in each group. So now that we've put our 12, let's say they're 12 slices of bread, and I've put them into equal groups, can you write a division equation for me? And then hold it up to the screen. 12 divided by something equals something else.
What? You broke up.
Yeah.
Can you write a division equation for this drawing? Can you see the drawing?
Yes. Here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Awesome. You got it, Rosie.
I was making them into cubes to make it more interesting.
I like it.
Okay.
Hadley's. Ready to show us, Hadley?
Not yet.
Okay, what about you, Dash?
I said it in the chat box.
All right, sorry that my Zoom is acting weird today, like the chat box was there and then it kind of disappeared.
Okay.
Okay, well, it was 12 divided by 4 equals 3.
But that's not exactly what the drawing looked like. Remember how there was a certain number of groups?
Yeah, it said 12.
Can you see that I have 6 circles?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't take those as circles. Sorry.
Yep, those are the groups.
Sorry, 12 divided by 6 equals 2.
Yes. So which number means the number of groups? Is 12 the number of groups, 6 the number of groups, or 2 the number of groups? Rosie.
6 the number of groups.
I believe it is 6, yeah.
Yes. You can even count the 6 circles. Dash, what does the number 2 mean? The total or?
Number 2 is like the amount, kind of. That if you were sharing the amount somebody would get.
Yeah, so how many in each group? And which number represents the total?
The 12.
12, yes. So let's just double check the word problems that we wrote together. And then we're going to keep it on going. For Hadley's word problem with 12 cookies, what was the total number of cookies?
See. 50.
Oh, sorry, we're on the second page over here. Can you see where it says Hadley? The total number of cookies is?
Let's see, 12 cookies. I can't see. How many cookies? 12.
She's got 12 cookies total. How many groups is she sharing with?
2. No, sorry, 6.
Yes. And how many in each group?
2.
2. Let's check Dashiell's. How many oranges in total? What's the total number we're starting with?
24.
And we are sharing with a certain number of students, a certain number of groups. So how many equal groups?
8.
That's the tricky part though.
How many total groups?
8 means oranges. So the number of equal groups is actually a question mark. And 8 would be how many in each group. Like
The number.
it's 8 oranges. So this one would actually be, and you can write this down, 24 divided by question mark equals 8. And then we'll know that the answer would be 24 divided by 3 is 8. Yep, 24 oranges divided by 3 students, which was the question, equals 8 oranges. All right, time for a reward, guys. I do this with my VIP Kids students too, where I have things that I will like show them. Even though you can't touch it in real life, it's still kind of fun. So these are dollar bills, pretend. And some of them are like low numbers, some of them are high numbers. So Dashiell, pick a color and we'll see how much money you get.
Dark blue.
Dark blue. Nice choice, because you got 50 bucks. All right.
I'm rich.
Awesome. Now, multiplying. What would we call this method where I've got a number of groups and I put something in each group? Would we call this array or the equal group model?
Equal group.
Yes. And the number of groups always comes first. So this multiplication problem would be something times something else.
Right.
6 times 3.
Yes, because there's 6.
6.
6 times 3.
Six.
Six groups with 3 in them.
Perfect, with 3 in them. And it gives us the total of 18. What is special about the array model of multiplying?
Let me see. Well,
What do you notice about rows and columns? Because there's a rule we have to follow.
there's 3.
You rows. You multiply the rows and the columns.
Yes, and the rows go side to side. So how many rows are there here?
4.
4.
4.
Side to side. And then how many columns going up and down?
3.
3.
Which gives us the new whole of 12. And then when we divide, remember we also use equal groups. And if we talk about 12 divided by 6 is 2, which one of those numbers means equal groups?
6.
12.
6, which would tell me to draw 6 circles. Okay. Which number would be the total?
12.
Which tells me how many I'm sharing, and it would help me to count to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hadley, then what would this number 2 mean? It's not the total.
Not the total. It's the it's the number of things inside of the groups.
Exactly. Perfect. So I say that gets you a reward. You get to pick color. So we've already done dark blue was 50 big ones. You want this green, red, turquoise, orange, or light teal.
Red.
Red.
How did you know? Woo!
I knew because I think the darker colors mean like more money and the lighter colors mean less.
I like it. It's a theory you've got going here. So now, guys, oh, thanks, Dash, for writing in the chat box. Now we're actually going to do our work for today, where we have those packets we got in the mail, and on your work plan, it gave you what I would like for you to do today, which is the lesson 1 quiz. So
I did my lesson 1 quiz.
if you already did it, then we can go over our answers together. Can everyone see on the screen? Alrighty. For number 1, it says which of the following represents 6 times 5? And I know there's only one answer, but we can still go over the wrong answers to just give our brain a little extra practice. Dashel, can I give you letter D? It's an array model, so rows times columns. What would I actually write for a multiplication problem for D of number 1?
You would write 6 times 6 equals 36.
And let's write that on our papers. Sorry, guys, my Zoom is acting so weird. So 6 because there are
6 because there's 6 there's 6 ones in the row.
6
and
rows,
6
yeah.
there's 6 columns.
Yep. And when we count up the total, it's 36. Nice job.
Thank you.
Hadley, could you tell us what the multiplication sentence would be for C?
C is 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, and that's because if I were putting these numbers in groups, how many groups?
There would be 5
Sorry.
Groups with the number 5 in each. And the total is,
5 times 5, 25.
yeah. Rosie, you can have B. What would the multiplication sentence be?
It would be 1 times 6 equals 6.
So just remember the very first number.
Oh, sorry. 6 times 1 equals 6.
Yes, and why does the 6 come first?
Because that's how many groups there are.
Yeah. So process of elimination, our answer is definitely A. 6 groups with 5 in each. Awesome job, guys. Let's move on to number 2. All right. Dashel, can you read the directions for number 2?
Yes. 1 sec. This is being weird. Okay. Which problems can be solved with the multiplication equation 7 times 8 equals 56?
All right. Hadley, can
Circle over correctly.
A?
Yes. Sophia has 56 balloons. She gives 8 balloons to her friend. How many balloons does Sophia have now?
Okay. What would I write? Would I write a equation? Would I write a subtracting equation?
Yeah, you would write a subtract.
Subtracting.
And what would it say?
It would say 56 subtract 8.
Perfect. So go ahead and write that down even on yours, just for a little bit extra brain practice. I'm so annoyed with Zoom today. I really don't know what's going on. Okay, so 56 minus 8. Dashel, B.
Devin has 7 baskets. He puts 8 in each basket. What is the total number of toys Devin puts in the basket?
Okay, what would an equation be for that?
7 times 8 equals 56.
So we can circle B as one of the right answers. 7
Yeah.
would be the number of,
7 would be the number of the why can't I remember this?
so either total, groups, or number in each group.
Yeah. The total number.
7 would be the number of groups, yes. Rosie, C.
There are 56 There are 56 tables in the lunchroom. Each table has 8 chairs. how many chairs are there in all? So the equation would be 56 divided by 8.
So I noticed that the question is how many in all?
Oh, so it would be in all.
So that means we don't have the total yet. But when we're dividing, we've already got the total and we're just sharing.
Oh, so it'd be wait. Oh, multiplication, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you could even picture in your brain 56 tables, and those are circular, so that would be like the number of groups. And the 8 would be how many?
The 8 would be how many chairs at each table.
Yep. D can be Hadley.
Okay, Lisa walks 8 blocks to her friend's house. Then she walks 7 more blocks to school. How many blocks does Lisa walk in all?
What kind of equation? Subtracting, multiplying, adding?
This is adding.
Okay, so our equation would be?
8 plus 7.
Yes. Dashiell, can you do letter E?
Sure. 1 sec, it's being weird.
Okay, I know it's being weird for me too.
I can't see the screen share.
Oh, no. Good grief. I will.
Wait. Okay, here we go. All right. Juan puts his baseball cards into packs of 8 cards each. He has 7 packs of cards. How many baseball cards does Juan have? Again, 8 times 7 equals 56.
So I want you to think carefully though, because remember when we talk about baskets, cups, friends, piles, boxes, those are words that signal equal groups. So how many equal groups do we have? Letter E.
Wait, so let me. Oh, sorry. All right, so Juan puts his baseball. Wait, so 7 times 8 equals 50.
Yes, and for me, it always helps me to actually put a picture in my brain, picture packs of cards, and then placing the card pack. So our answers for number 2 are B and E circled. And then, let's see, Dash, you got to pick, Hadley, you got to pick. So let me stop the screen here if I can. We all know this Zoom is being weird. And Rosie, what color would you like?
I'm going on Hadley's theory and choosing that one, the darkest. Yeah, that one.
You are correct, and you got 20, which is one of the higher numbers. So good job, guys. Let's keep it on going here. Now we are on to number 3. And Dash, do you want to read it?
Sure. Zane likes to ride his bike. The table shows the number of days and the number of miles he rides in a week. How many miles does Zane ride his bike in a week? Write a multiplication equation that you can use to answer the question.
Okay. So Hadley, looking over here at our chart, we've got days and we've got number of miles. Which one means equal groups? Is it the days or the miles?
I think the miles.
Let's see. So if I were to draw some circles, then how many circles would I draw?
You would draw. Oh, no. The days are the equal groups.
Yeah, and how many days are there?
There are 4 days.
All right, so 4 circles, and then what goes inside each circle?
3.
Okay, so Rosie, what's our multiplication sentence?
It would be you kind of broke up there for like half of when you were talking, so I didn't.
Sorry. A multiplication equation number 3.
I still can't really hear you.
Is it any better now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but
Okay. What would our multiplication equation be for number 3?
Okay, so number 3, would it be, it would, I don't know, it would it
So
be
we've got,
4, would it be 4 times, would it be 4 times 4? Consider.
that is a very good idea. And I'll see what Hadley thinks. Maybe she's got the same idea. Maybe she's got a different idea. What do you think, Hadley?
4 times 3 equals 12.
Okay, but how do you get those numbers?
Because each day of the week there are 3, and it's asking write a multiplication. So then you take the 4 days of the week that he rode his bike, and then all the miles, and you multiply them, and you get 4 times 3 equals 12.
Mm-hmm. You could even do repeated addition, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, and get the same answer. So nice job. Go ahead and write for number 3. 4 for the equal groups times 3 for how many miles each day is 12 miles in all. Number 4, Dash. Would we call this an equal groups model or an array model?
It's so weird. All right, here we go. That would be an equal groups model. Really? Because they're all equal groups.
It's just because they've arranged it in rows and columns. So this one's going to be the array model.
Oh, okay, that makes sense now.
Sorry that I keep having to stop and start with the screen. Did you want to read where it says Sheila?
Sheila built some new airplanes. She adds 3 new airplanes to each shelf. Choose a multiplication problem for the box to complete each sentence.
Yes. Rosie, how many rows? Do you notice how many side-to-side rows?
There are 5.
Okay. And when we're doing array multiplication, which comes first in our equation, the number of rows or the number of columns?
Rows.
All right. So we're always going to be looking at 5 times something for our answers. All righty. How many planes do we have in each row right now?
We have 6.
Okay. So right now we've got 6 columns. And this would show us 5 times 6 is 30. Let's see what our questions are. And then remember that we will use the number of rows first. So here are those drawings. And part A. So they want the number of what?
New airplanes.
Yes, the number of new airplanes. And how many new airplanes are we adding?
3.
You are adding 3 new airplanes, though.
Yes. So you can either draw it in your paper right now, or you can kind of just imagine it. 3 new airplanes in each row. You want a multiplication sentence using the number 3 for the number in each row and the number 5 for the number of rows. So, Dashel, okay, what's our multiplication sentence that shows how many new airplanes? Choose one from the box.
Let's see. So 5 times 6.
All right, where did you get those numbers from?
Well, on the column there are 5 airplanes going down, and on the row there are 6.
All right, and which do we use first, rows or columns?
Columns.
Close.
Well, then, sorry, rows.
So it's the number of rows times columns. So if we were looking at the picture where the airplanes are nice and drawn out, like how many she started with, you are correct. It would be 5 times 6.
I know, but 6 times 5 wasn't an option.
You're right. 6 times 5 isn't even an option. Rosie, for the question, how many new planes does she have on each shelf, where I drew like 3 little dashes in each row, what would our multiplication sentence be?
5 times 9 equals 45.
So where'd you get those numbers from?
Well, there are 5 columns, and there are
There are 5
Yeah.
what?
there are 5 rows, and
There you
there
go.
are 9 columns.
Yep, 9 planes would be on each in each row. And if we were looking down, we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that would be how many airplanes she's got in all once we add it all together. So that would be correct. But for this question, part A, Hadley, this question's for you. I only want you to look at the number of new planes, the ones that Miss Brown drew. Can you see my little dashes?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would be my multiplication sentence for how many new planes there are?
From the box.
So we're looking at what I drew. I was trying to draw 3 new airplanes in each row.
3 new airplanes in each row. Okay, so
Mm-hmm. So would it be 3
9
times
times-
6? 5
no, it would mean 9 times 5.
All right, so which one should I circle in the choices?
9 times 5.
Let's see. I'm wanting to use though the number 3 because the question is about the new airplanes.
Okay. So, question. Okay, so then 3 times 6.
So 3 would be the number of rows.
No,
So how many rows?
there are 5 rows.
Yeah, so pick a multiplication equation that starts with 5. For 5
3 times 5.
Can you see what I circled?
Yes.
So the answer would be
3 times 5.
5 times.
Oh, 5 times 3.
Yes, so go ahead, guys. And where it says part A, you would be writing 5 times 3 because there are 5 rows and she's adding 3 new airplanes to each row. So 5 times 3. And then last but not least, part B, use what multiplication equation to find the total number of airplanes she has after we add everything all together. And I think, Rosie, you told us this one before. What would we put for part B?
We'd put 5 times 9 equals 45.
Yes, 5 times 9, 5 rows. And after we drew in some new airplanes, there's 9 in each row, or another way of saying it is there's 9 columns. Alrighty, let me do another reward. So we've only got 3 colors left. What color should we pick?
Oh,
Orange.
tough.
Okay, National thinks orange. Do you agree, Rosie?
Could we all pick a different one?
True, but then the game will be over if we're all picking a different one, but that's fine. What do you pick?
I picked
say
green.
Rosie picks green, Dashiell picks orange. Are you okay with teal, Hadley?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm probably gonna win anyway.
Dun, 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 dun. One.
Yes, $1. Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
$10 for orange. And Hadley, not bad. $5 is
I
not
succeeded with the worst score.
$5.
Ugh. So that brings us to the end of our work for today. So before we get going, I just want to review with you guys what's called the area model multiplication. And then we can do a song. It's kind of like a Ram Sam Sam, but it's different. It's called Boom Chicka Rocka. So can you guys on a piece of paper write something for me?
Yes, yes.
All right. Can you write, we're going to go side to side, 80 times 25. Underneath it, we'll do a nice big rectangle. So this is the area model or the box model for multiplying a 2-digit number by another 2-digit number. Thumbs up if you are ready. Okay, perfect. I love your Easter pencil, right? Is that a, no, it's a giraffe on top.
Yeah, it's a random eraser I've got in my
I
house.
love it. All right. So for multiplying 80 times 25, what we will actually, can you put a 3 over the 0? Can we make it 83?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then off to the side, I forgot there's one little thing. Let's put a TH for thousands, H for hundreds. We're kind of drawing a place value chart. T for tens, and a letter O for ones. Now are we ready?
Not yet.
Okay.
This is what my thing looks like. It's kind of crazy with stuff.
Kind of crazy. I love it.
Oh, you can't see my sticky note.
Okay. So we're going to break these numbers apart. 83 is the same as 80 plus 3. So on the side of our rectangle, we will write 80 plus 3. We're going to have 2 rows of the rectangle. And with our other number, 25, 25 is the same as 20 plus 5. So we're splitting that number apart using expanded form. And that means we'll have 2 columns for our rectangle. So it's divided evenly into quarters.
Or fourths.
Or fourths, perfect. So how we use the area model is we focus on one little rectangle at a time. And that would mean first we would be multiplying 80 times 20. And some of you might have heard of the 0 method, where you kind of just ignore the 0 and 20 and the 0 and 8 and you add them on at the end. And that's sort of true and sort of not true. Dash, what's 8 times 2?
8 times 2 is 16.
All right, can you guys write 16 in the place value chart, just like you're seeing me do, where there's 1 10 and 6 ones? So instead of just thinking about, I'm going to add 2 zeros to the end of my problem, I'm going to think about how the number 16 is moving over by 2 place value spots. So the 10 in 16 moves over 1 spot, 2 spots to the thousands. And the 6 in the ones column moves over by 2 place values. It moves to the tens for 1 jump and to the hundreds for the next jump. So my number 16 became 1,600.
600.
Okay. So 8 times 2, we ignored the zeros and we did kind of add 2 zeros to the end. But the reason we did that is because it moved over 2 place value spots. So 80 times 20, 1,600. All right, now let's focus on this next box here. Which two numbers would I multiply in this next box of the top row? I've got 80. And I would multiply it by what, Rosie?
5.
Okay, let's solve at the end. We'll just keep writing our multiplication equations. Now I've got 3, and I'm working on this next little box. What would I multiply together in this small box, Dash?
Well, you would multiply 3
Mm-hmm.
times 80. No.
So showing you with the spotlight. 3 would multiply by
20.
20. Okay, so we can write 3 times 20 in that box.
Oh, okay, that makes sense now.
And then Hadley, for my last little box, what numbers would I multiply together?
3 times 5, which
3
is
times 5, which is Dash 3 times 5?
3 times 5 is 15.
Yes. So now we can actually solve by multiplying in all the boxes. We already did 80 times 20, which is, you could call it 1,600 or you could call it 1,600. Rosie, do you know what 80 times 5 would be?
It would be, hold on 1 minute.
Remember, you do 8 multiplied by 5 first, if that helps.
400. 400, yes.
Yep, because 8 times 5 is 40, but we need to move that over an entire place value because there's 1 0. So we move it over 1 place value, 40 becomes 400. And then Hadley, 3 times 20. What would that be?
3 times 20 is 3 times 2 is 60, I think.
Yeah, we start with 3 times 2 is 6. And how many zeros do we have?
We have 1 0.
1 0. So we move the number 6 1 place value to the left. And that means the 6 goes into the tens and becomes 60. All right. Now your last job is to take 1,600, 400, 60, and 5 and add it all together. And when you've got that answer, let me know. So, showing you with my spotlight. We're taking all of our products.
I know.
What is it, Dash?
2,065.
All right, let me clear this out and let's see if he's right. 1,600 or 1,600 plus 400. What other
Yep.
am I adding together, guys?
60 and
And
15. 15.
Oh, yeah, 15, sorry.
All right, so start right. We've got,
Sorry, my bad. 2,075.
That's what I got.
did you get the same, Hadley?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, 6 plus 4 is 10. I have to bundle and move it on over. Now there's 2,000. Awesome. So that is how we use the area model. Let us know what your answer is, Hadley, when you get it.
I have a question.
Yes, Rosie.
This is about scheduling. Do we have a Zoom on Thursday at 11?
Yeah, so you guys can come for just a quick 30 minutes at 11 and we'll go over what's on your work plan to do in your reading and writing or your ELA. But then we can also meet at 1 o'clock where we'll talk about career day stuff with everybody.
My only other, okay, so I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
So my mom's doing career day, I believe, and then also, that was a comment, but what when are we going? When are we going to the zoo? What day is that?
Friday at 11.
All right.
Miss Brown.
Yes, Dash?
My mom's also gonna be doing it. She's gonna talk about epidemiology.
I know, I'm excited.
Fun.
And then Hadley, did you get the answer 2075?
Yes, I did. 2000.
Perfect. And did you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Can you guys see in yellow where it says homework?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you each have a multiplication problem. Dash at 48 times 20. Rosie, 35 times 15. Hadley, 63 times 12. And your homework is to draw an area model rectangle, just like we did, to figure out what the answer is and be ready to share it next time. So can you,
All right.
you write down your multiplication problem, draw your rectangle, and show me your rectangle so I know you'll be ready for your homework? And then yes or no, should we try the new song?
Yes.
I kind of have to go.
Yeah, I've got like, what time is it actually?
It's 10:54.
Oh
Alright.
yeah.
I've just missed my entire PE, but that's fine because I've got yoga in like about 10 minutes.
Sorry about that. But
No, it's fine.
you got your homework written down, you drew your rectangle.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, what about you, Dash?
Got it.
Awesome. So you took the number 48, Dash, and you made it 40 plus 8.
Mm-hmm.
And the number 20, you made it 20 plus
0.
Good.
0.
Then Hadley, for your rectangle, don't forget on one side it would say 60 plus 3. So like the 60 would be a box, the 3 would be a box. And then the other side of your rectangle for 12, it would be a 10 plus 2. And the 10 gets a box and the 2 gets a box.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I guess no on the song. We'll do the song next time?
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a great rest of your day. Don't get wet in the rain and see you Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming.